So the Viper Mini SE, $300 mouse. Do I think it's worth $300? Absolutely not. I would not recommend anyone to buy it at $300. I think it is not even close to being worth $300. The most I was personally willing to pay for this is $220, and that's a stretch. Now let's move on to the shape. The shape is honestly an iconic shape within the community. I feel like everyone has owned a Viper Mini at least at one point. It is a great mouse for claw. It's a great mouse for fingertip. If your hands are small enough, it's a great mouse for palm. I mean, it's just a great mouse. It's a good shape. It's most closely resembling the Starlight Medium. The Viper Mini definitely flares out more towards the front, and it has a little bit more of a pronounced hump overall. So you will notice the differences if you own a Starlight Medium. But overall, the shape is a great shape. It feels good in hand, and I mean, most people can find a use for it. Now let's talk about the actual specs of the mouse. The mouse itself has optical V3 switches. They feel amazing. They felt great from day one, and they continue to feel great. The only problem is they're opticals, so they will eventually get mushy. That is a main issue with opticals. They will get mushy over time. You're sacrificing the double clicking for mushy clicks. And honestly, I will take a mechanical switch that is more prone to double clicking as opposed to opticals getting mushy because they feel terrible. The scroll wheel is a metal scroll wheel, which is pretty much like the rest of the mouse, just a flex. It adds more weight that's unneeded. They could have gotten away with just using a plastic wheel to get that weight even lower than it's 49 grams. It's very tactile, so for me, that is perfect. I love a very tactile wheel. It feels good. The exoskeleton is a magnesium alloy exoskeleton, and it has an inside plastic shell. That might help with the deterioration of the switches, but that is still yet to be seen. The side switches are, well, side switches. They feel good, but I have seen copies of other people's mice that have really bad QC on the side switches in particular. The base is the only other part of the mouse that is plastic. It is a plastic base to allow the RF signal to escape due to the magnesium alloy shell. The feet are your typical PTFE feet. Razer has done a really good job with their feet, as have most other companies though. I've tried it on quite a few pads. They feel good on every pad that I've used them on. I feel no reason to replace them. I probably will not replace them until they fully wear down. The sensor is a $33.99. I've had no issues with it, no hiccups. Great sensor. Everything's been working great. 1K, 2K, 4K capabilities. It feels amazing. No issues whatsoever 4K. Now bear in mind you will need a computer that can push your frames to the point where 4K is noticeable, and having a high hertz monitor definitely does help. So honestly, overall it's a good mouse. It honestly feels great. It's a great shape. It has good specs. It's everything you want in a modern mouse. The only problem is it's $300. I can't recommend it at $300. If it was $200, $220, I would have no issue recommending it. But now you have Final Mouse that is releasing their ULX, their Hyperlight, for $189 to $199. It'll be 29 grams, 4K, everything this mouse has, but better. There's no reason to buy this mouse, and I can't recommend anyone to buy it. If you want a wireless Viper Mini, you're better off just making your regular Viper Mini into wireless. If you don't want to do that, you can always just wait for the regular version of the Viper Mini wireless, which will hopefully be a lot cheaper. But at a $200 price point, this is more or less a scam.